Sir.
Okay, very good morning, my dear friends. So, in the platform, this is the platform for learning and also the compete for all competitive exams in plant sciences, especially CPGET-22 botany. So, today's eminent resource person, Dr. P. Manjula Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, RBVRR Women's College. Madam has explained, yesterday class is wonderfully explained about the community ecology, Rankier's classification, and before that Madam has explained especially atecology, synecology, and ecosystem, one of the important area of the ecology part. My dear friends, listen carefully. During the class, if you have any doubts, please post in the chat box, and also directly you have to contact with our Dr. P. Manjula Madam Garu. Madam, please welcome and start your session.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, is it visible screen?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, good morning, my dear students. So, today's topic is population ecology. So, this is also an important topic. So, population ecology means it is the study of population in relation to its environment. So, if it includes the environmental influences that like population density, distribution of the population, age structure, and variations in the population size. So these are also known as the characteristics of the population. So what are the main characteristics of population? Means population density and distribution, age, structure, and variation in population size. So these are the characteristics of the population. So population size, population density, dispersion patterns, so how they are arranged, and demographic and survivalship curves and population growths. So first one is the population size. So population size means, so in so it is also known as the population genetics, and in population ecology, the population size usually it is denoted by N and is the number of individual organisms in a population. So it is called as the population size. So that is the number of individuals in a population. So it constitutes the population size. So the factors that govern the population size, so generally based on these characters, that is the birth rate, that is it is also known as the natality, and crude death rate, that is mortality, immigration and immigration. So these are the four main factors which influence the size of the population. So first one is, that is the birth rate, that is it is also known as the natality or birth rate. So the birth rate, which is the ratio of total live births to total population in a particular area over a specified period of time. Whereas the mortality, that is the death rate. So the death rate, which is also the ratio of the total number of deaths to the total population. Immigration, that is number of organisms moving into the area occupied by the population, it is called as the immigration. That is adding, that is the other organisms which are coming into this area, occupied area. So immigration means the number of organisms moving out of the area, which is called as the immigration. So occupied by the population, it is called as immigration. So generally natality and immigration, which increase the size of the population, whereas the mortality and immigration, so which decrease the size of the population. Okay, so generally, so the factors that increase the population size, that is the natality is recruited. So generally natality, it increase the population size through reproduction, and immigration from the external populations. That is example for immigration here, migration of birds to, so during some seasons, so the birds which migrate towards a specific area, so due to which here the population size will increases. So factors reducing the population size, that is the mortality, which is the death rate from any source, example by the predation or other factors or other environmental factors, so due to which here the mortality will occur, so due to which the size of the population will decreases. So immigration, where individuals leave the population for another habitat. So here immigration means that is moving of the organisms, individuals from the particular area to another area. So due to which the size of the population is decreases. So generally population size means that is the number of organisms present in particular area. It constitutes the population size. So population size generally increases by natality and immigration, that is migration of birds, etc. Natality means birth rate, but due to birth rate and immigration, the population size is increasing. Whereas the mortality, that is due to death rate and immigration, that is moving to another area. So due to which here the population size is reducing. So here in a population in a bird, so here due to here immigration, so this bird which come from other area and occupies this area, so here due to births by reproduction, so here the population size is increasing, whereas here the immigration, that is moving from this area to another place, so here due to which the size of the population will decreases, and due to death. So next one is, so generally the population change, that is the births plus immigration minus deaths plus immigration. So it gives the change in population change. So the parameters that affect the size or density of a population. So these are the main, that is mainly the size of the population which increases by mortality and immigration, whereas the natality and immigration which mortality and immigration reduces the population size, and natality and immigration which increases the population size. So next characteristic of the population is the population density. So population density means it is the measure of the number of people in a area. So it is the average number. So generally it is usually shown as the number of people per square kilometer. That is the number of people present in a particular area. It is an average number is taken into is calculated. So density means population per area. So generally the density of the population, it is measured by two methods, that is total count method and sampling method. So here the total count method, again here the direct counting of the population. So how we are calculating the here the population density means by counting the total organisms present in particular area, or otherwise another method is sampling method. So in first one, that is total count method, here direct counting of the population. So by counting the number of individuals present in particular area, so it is possible for few animals. So generally if the only few animals are there in that area, so we can easily calculate these organisms. So breeding colonies can be photographed and then later counted by taking the picture of that breeding colonies, and we can count the number of organisms in that area. So examples for total count method is human pop census and trees in a given area. So it is easy to count total count method. Next one is the sampling method. So in sampling method, here it depends on the type of the organism and its natural abundance and distribution. So here it is again classified into two broad categories, that is plot based method, that is quadrant method, generally for a small species. So it is not easy to count the number of organisms present in that area. So in this method we can take some plots, or for example if we take the area, so particular area is taken, and in this, so we can take small quadrants. So we take the small plots in that particular area, and by counting the, so here by counting the first one, so abundant species, so the plants which are present in that area, so more number of plants. So for example, first we identify the species. So for example, in particular area the ocimum plants are more in that area, so first we take the that plant, so we named it as a species 1 or species A, like that we take different by taking the different species in that area. So here, so again I explain this in detail, quadrant method. So in one particular area, so that is a large area which is divided into small quadrants, and they are named as, for example, 10 quadrants are taken, and in this, so we named it as the A quadrant B, like that, or for example quadrant 1 to 10. And in each quadrant, again, we are calculating the species A, species B, like that. And we are taking it for each quadrant. So how many species A are present? So like that. So in this method, so it is a plot based method. So it is used for the small plant species. We cannot easily count in particular area. Another method is the capture based method. So in quadrant sampling method, so widely used in plant studies. So total population, that is equal to average number per quadrant into total area or area of quadrant. So here, for example, in this, so here we are taken the 100 meters. So here one area is taken. So here we are taking the plots. So for example, here 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here 10, 12 quadrants are taken. So in that area, we are counting the number of species present in this area. So here in this, no species are there. So like that, in each species, we are counting the number of species present in that area. Like that, we are counting the number of species present in particular area. So it is generally used for small species. We cannot easily count easily. So here I will explain this in detail. So here in this quadrant method, so generally here the select a site for the study, and by using hammer, the nails and that. So we are first taking the quadrants. We are prepare the quadrants and fix 4 nails in the form of a square. So here we are taking the 10 quadrants are taken. So the number of individuals of the species A present in the first quadrant is counted and data is recorded in the table. So the number of individuals of the species A in other quadrant. So like that. So first we are taking only one species are taken. Arthamavutunda? Is it clear? Samira. Samira or Shivaji.
Yes, madam.
This is the important method. Generally, it is used in practicals also. So, quadrant method is used to calculate the density of a population. Generally, for the species, so particular area, so manaki have different species. In this way, we can count the different types of species present in particular area. Okay, so first మనం ఏరియా తీసుకుంటాం. అందులో we are dividing into 10 quadrants, small play areas లా quadrants లా తీసుకొని. సో in first quadrant, so how many plants are there? Total అంటే మనం only we are mainly concentrating the particular species. For example, in first quadrant లో ఆసిమం plants ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి? So only for 1 or 2 ఉండొచ్చు. So in second quadrant లో like that. So how many? So in this it may be 3, or in another third one it may be 2. Fourth one 2, like that. So we are only first we are taking only into the one species only taken. So in each quadrant, how many ocimum plants are there? So 10 quadrants lo total ocimum plants only, like that. Species A, other next one, so another plant is taken, and how many plants are there in that quadrant, that small area. So manam large area ni we are separating it by quadrant. So small area ga divide cheskoni. So we are counting. So it is called as a quadrant method. So here the number of individuals of the species A present in the first quadrant is counted, and the data is recorded in the table. And next, the number of individuals of the species A in other quadrant is also counted, and the data is recorded in the table. So similarly, the count the number of individuals of species B. So here the species A, for example, we are taken as a ocimum. So in species B, it is the other plant like Catharanthus. So how many Catharanthus species are there in that space? Like that. So here different plants are taken, and in each quadrant, so how many plants are there? Like that, we are calculating the density. So the density of the plant population is then calculated by the following equation. That is, density is called total number of individuals of the species in all sampling units by total number of sampling units studied. So that is, density is equal, so total number of individuals of the species divided by the total number of sampling units. That is, so total number of species, it may be 30 or 40, and here the total number of samplings, that is 10. Like that, we can calculate the density of the population. So next one is the, so another characteristic of the population ecology, that is the dispersion. That is the dispersion means it is a the pattern of the spacing among the individuals within the geographical boundary. So here the arrangement, that is how they are spaced, how they are living, or arrangement, how they are arranged in a particular area. So the dispersion of a population is the pattern of spacing among individuals within the geographical boundaries. So here the population dispersion, so it is 3 types. So first one is the clumped dispersion, random dispersion, and uniform dispersion. That is arrangement of the organisms in particular area, or spacing of the organisms or individuals in a particular area. It is called as a population dispersion. So 3 types. So first one is the clumped dispersion. In clumped dispersion, so clumped is a pattern when individuals are aggregated in patches. So here they are arranged in groups. So most frequent pattern of distribution in population ecology is the clumped dispersion. So this is also an important question. So generally in the dispersion pattern is normally the distribution pattern of the population is generally clumped dispersion, or random dispersion, or uniform dispersion. Answer is, what is the answer? Anyone? So generally the dispersion, that is the dispersion of the population, is generally clumped dispersion. Okay, so reasons are some area of the habitat are more suitable for the than the others. So are other heterogeneous environment, so with sources concentrated in patches. So due to this area is suitable for these organisms, and a tendency of offsprings to remain within the parents. So generally offsprings, they remain with the parents. So due to which they are arranged in groups. So mating or social behavior of the individual. So due to these reasons, generally it is a clumped dispersion. That is arrangement, or that is the spacing or arrangement of the organisms in a particular area. So here, for example, so these it is, so here the group, clumped means groups, so arranged in groups. So here different clumps. So here the 5 numbers, so here also 5 numbers, so here also more numbers. So groups, they are arranged in groups. So it is called as a clumped dispersion. So clumped means for many animals such as these wolves living in groups. So generally the example for clumped dispersion is the wolves. They are living in the group. So increases the effectiveness of the hunting, and spreads the work of protecting and caring for young, and helps which also helps in exclude the other individuals from their territory. So they only, so it mainly, so generally what you called so here clumped means, so it mainly helps in the here caring for youngs and also protecting their individuals. So next one is the uniform dispersion. So evenly spaced distribution in which members of the population maintain a minimum distance from one another. So they are dispersed or arranged uniformly here. They are arranged uniformly, distributed uniformly. So in plants, due to competition for water, sunlight, or available nutrients, so generally they are arranged in uniformly. So creosote bushes in the major desert. So generally these in desert, so some are, they are arranged in uniformly. So in animals, due to strong territory, so they are also arranged in uniform. So here these are the uniform arrangement of this. So here the birds are arranged uniformly, not in groups. So here in, so like that uniformly they are arranged. So birds nesting on a small island such as these king penguins on South Georgia Island. So they are arranged uniform spacing. So they are they maintain the minimum distance from one another. So next one is a random dispersion. So random dispersion, so it is a spacing pattern based on total unpredictability. So least common pattern of distribution is the random dispersion, whereas the most common method of dispersion is the clumped dispersion. So here they are arranged irregularly. it is not uniform or not clumped. So irregularly they are arranged. So members of species do not frequently interact with one another and not heavily influenced by the microenvironments within their habitats. So it is a less common method of distribution. So this is a random distribution. So here they are, the different species they are arranged irregularly. So not in a groups or not in uniform. So dandelions grow from the wind-blown seeds that land at random and later germinate. So here the arrangement of these species are random, not in groups or not in uniform. So irregularly they are arranged. So three types of distribution. First one is a clumped distribution. Second one is uniform distribution. And third one is a random. So generally clumped distribution, it is the common method, whereas the random, it is less common. So next one is so the factors which affecting the distribution are floods, hurricanes, unseasonable weather, fire, clear cutting, and pesticidal spray. And here the competition. So here base, so these are the density independent. So due to these are the environmental factors. So whereas here these are the competition for the resources, predation, parasitism, and infectious diseases, due to which these mainly influence the that is the distribution pattern of the organisms. So next one is the demography. So it is also another characteristic of the population. It is a demography. So demography is the study of the wider statistics of a population and how they are changed over the time. So two statistics that are particularly important are population age structure and population sex ratio. That is a vital statistics. How that is the living. How that is the number of organisms they are growing properly in a population, how they are changed over the time. And two statistics that are particular important are population size structure and population sex ratio. So first one is the sex ratio. So it is the ratio of males to females in a population. That is primary sex ratio, secondary sex ratio, and tertiary ratio. The human sex ratio is the particular interest to anthropologists and demographers. So that is the number of males are present in particular. So generally that is in Kerala. So the male ratio, female to male ratio is highest like that. So how many number of males and females present in particular area. So next one is the age structure. So age structure, it describes the number of individuals in each age class as a ratio of one class to another. So age classes can be specific categories such as the people in the same age are taken. So here the age classes. That is, so here that is the here age structure diagram. That is a graphical illustration that shows the distribution of various age groups and sex ratio in a population. So here the three age categories are taken. So first one is a pre-reproductive age, reproductive age, and post-reproductive age. So pre-reproductive age, that is 0 to 14 years, and reproductive ages, that is 15 to 44, and post-reproductive age is 45 and plus. So here again, here the age based on the here the age groups are classified into three types. That is pre-reproductive, that is the age groups that is 0 to 14 years, which comes under pre-reproductive age. Reproductive age 15 to 44, and post-reproductive age 45 and plus. So next one is the life table. So life table, that is the mortality table, is a table which shows for age what is the probability is that the person of that age will die before his or her next birthday. So generally nowadays, so life tables, so in earliest, that is 100 plus. So generally the life table, that is a mortality table, is generally 100, but now it falls down to 65 to 70. So from this starting point, the number of inferences can be derived. So the probability of surviving any particular year of age, remaining life expectancy for people at different ages, and separately for men and women because of their substantially different mortality rate. So here the mortality rate for male and female also varies. And so this is about the population ecology. So the main characteristics of the population are, first one is the population size, Second one is population density. Third one is the dispersion pattern. Next one is the demographics. And so we will discuss the survivalship curves and population growth curves in next class. Okay, so here mainly, so you know about this growth rate means natality and death rate means mortality. And here the main point here you should remember is that generally the factors, so generally natality and immigration increases the population size, whereas the mortality and immigration decreases the population size. So another point to remember here is so generally the measurements, so generally here the density is measured by different the density is measured by so total count method and sampling method. So in the total count method, that is direct counting of population. Next one is the sampling method. So in sampling method, again plot based method and capture based method. So this quadrant method, it is important. Next one is the population dispersion. That is generally that is the dispersion of population means that is the arrangement or patterns of spacing of the individuals in a particular area. So generally the common population dispersion is the clumped method, and here random it is the less common method. So you should remember these points in this topic, today's topic. So next one is the so generally the natality is, it is calculated as a number of birth per unit time by average population is taken. So here the mortality, it is generally it is calculated by death rate is equal to number of deaths per unit time by average population. So another point here pre-reproductive age means here. So pre-reproductive age means it is also known as the young age. Okay. So here this age distribution. So generally it is Bodenheimer. He recognized the 3 age groups in the population. That is pre-reproductive phase. That is 0 to 14 years age group. That is it is generally we are called as a young people. And reproductive means middle-aged people. That is 15 to 44, and post-reproductive, that is old age. So these are the 3 types. So it is they are classified by the Bodenheimer. He classified 3 different types: so pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive phases. So remaining another characters also there. That is the age pyramid, and population growths. So these topics and the survivalship curves, so these are also important. So in next class we will discuss about these topics. So 1 minute. One minute. Okay. So here, is it visible? Shivaji.
Yes, madam. Visible, madam.
Okay. So already we discussed about this. Density, it is the number of individuals per unit area value. Dispersion, it is the pattern of spacing among the individuals within the boundaries of a population. So immigration and birth add individuals, whereas the death and emigration
Madam,
removes the
presentation not visible, madam.
presentation not visible.
Yes, madam.
Population. 1 minute, I will share.
No, madam. No, madam.
Okay, one minute, I will share again. Now is it okay?
Okay, madam. It's visible,
Yes,
madam.
okay, madam.
But please,
Visible, madam.
please click on slideshow, madam.
Okay, sir. Now, sir, not coming, sir, here, slideshow. So I will continue like this only, sir. So this is not start. Now is it okay?
Okay, madam. Please continue, madam.
But it is not moving. Slides are not moving here. Okay, now is it okay? Slide share? Yes?
Okay, madam. Fine,
So
madam.
population, okay. So already we discussed about this population immigration and it's not moving slide. Okay. So these are the different patterns of dispersion, that is clumped and so these are the examples for clumped dispersion. So here they are arranged in groups. They are spaced in groups. Uniform. So example penguins. So randomly distributed. So here they are arranged irregularly, not in groups or not in a uniform. So differently they are arranged irregularly. So randomly distributed funds. So next to demography, it is the study of all vital statistics of a population and how they change over the time. So death rate and birth rate. So they are particular. So generally life tables. So another characteristic is a life table. So it is a age specific summary of the survival pattern of the populations. That is first developed by the. So generally it is constructed by following the fate of a cohort. That is age classes. That is 3 different. So life table, it will be determining the number of individuals that are in each age group and calculating the proportion of the cohort. So generally the lifespan of an organism is taken in here. So data for life table hard to collect for wild populations. So this is a life table of buildings, ground squirrels. So here the age, that is 0 to 1 years. So average expectancy of that is 1.33. Like that here the age and how the life expectancy and the death rate. So this comes under the life table. So it will determine the number of individuals that die in each age group. That is hard to calculate. So life table of a ground squirrel shows the death rate for males is higher than that of the females. That is generally males die earlier than females here. Also notice that the mortality rate is quite consistent from 1 year to the next year. So survivalship curve. So that is the data in a life table can be represented graphically by a survival curve. So curve usually based on the standardized population of 100,000 individuals and the x-axis the scale of logarithm is taken. So here that is number of survivals. So here the age, that is it is taken in the years, and here the survival, how many number, how number of organisms they are surviving. So here the males, as the age increasing, so in survivalship, that is a generally here number of organisms are taken, and here the age. So here as the age increasing, so here the number will be decreasing, number of survival will be decreasing. As the age increasing, the number of organisms survival, number of survivals or number of organisms will be decreasing. So here the age, as the age here age, so here the number of individuals are only 8 or 9 like that. Okay, so again we will discuss this in next class, so because this is important topic. So this is also important, seminiparous reproduction. So seminiparous reproduction means this adaptation to the erratic climatic conditions. So again in next class I will explain this. These are important topics in this. Okay, I will stop here today, sir. Tirupati sir. Tirupati sir. Sir. Okay, students. So I will stop here. Okay.